All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Non-Del Influencer Podcast. Looking forward to spending some time with you. I'm Matt Coles, National Sales Manager with FirstFunding. Today, I'm joined by Josh Tindel with Atlas Title Company. Josh, thanks for taking the time out of your day to join us and talk a little bit about the non-Del side of the business.
Awesome, Matt. It's always good to see you and hear from you, and here to help however we can.
Yeah, so let's dive right into it. It's a busy purchase market, but rates have started to track down. I actually saw your post the other day on social media when you talked about, hey, or I think it actually might have been Grant's post about, hey, is everyone ready for refinance activity?
Yeah.
Right. So everyone's so focused on purchase for the last, year and a half, 2 years. Are we ready for a little bit of a bump in refinances? So tell me a little bit about what you're seeing out there in the marketplace.
Yeah, that's the exciting part right now. I mean, I think everyone's ready for a refi market to be back, which means a bump down in rates, whether it's a quarter, half, or 1 full%. Hopefully it happens sooner than later, right? But the big question is, there's been this big focus on purchase for the last, 12 to 24 months. And as lenders have gone in and sort of leveraged different products, right? A lot more HELOCs and fixed rate HE loans and more purchase business. What about that refi business and about the database that maybe you haven't been touching that you need to be touching to ensure that you're ready before someone else takes that business from you? And we've seen our refi business increase over the last probably 45 days by 30 to 45%, which is
Wow.
A considerable jump. It's like it
Yeah.
did back December, January, when they took that 0.5% or more rate hit. We saw, and our client, we have a variety of clients, but the brokers can shift probably the quickest. And we saw that increase jump, and we were ready, right? And then latter part of January, February hit, and things change up a little bit. But the reason we're asking, are you ready? Are your processes ready? Are your pipelines being looked at? Are they being worked over because someone's going to be calling them? Are you working with a title and escrow settlement company that has capacity and can integrate and is fully streamlined to be able to help you close those deals faster so you can continue to push them through? And those are some of the bigger questions that we're looking at right now.
It's great to be busy, right? It's amazing to be busy.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure, because a lot of people have cut back on staff, right? A lot of lenders, a lot of, I'm sure, title agency, a lot of people just in our overall industry have cut back on staffs. And systematically, are you ready to be able to push a pipeline through the process? Because here's what's going to happen, right? And I talk about this quite a bit. Borrowers are getting more and more savvy every time we go through a refinance cycle, right? So now the expectation is, hey, I'm going to want to close my refinance in 14 days or less, essentially, right? Where that wasn't the case maybe last time around, or maybe the time before that, because the average turn time was 25 to 30 days. But now that we've gotten more and more efficient and people are seeing that they can close in 10, 12, 13 days, that's going to be now the expectation, right? So what kind of solutions are you guys helping out with on that side of it?
Well, let's go back to staffing, because that's been a huge topic of discussion across the entire industry, from a lender standpoint, from an agent standpoint, from a title company and escrow company standpoint. I feel, it's different for everyone, but we've been in a pretty good position where we've seen our business steadily increase at a time where rates are at all-time highs over the last 5, 6, 7 years. We've actually hired 14, 15 people in the last month and a half, 2 months. Not only to help us with what we currently have, but also to prep us for what's going to be coming. So we've been in a pretty fortunate position and found some really good people to help us assist with business moving forward. But we are seeing existing clients that cut back, as everybody did, but are now trying to scramble, looking for third-party processing teams, like looking for appraisal companies that can actually get something back to them in a timely fashion, that need access to NHD and to floods. They just need they need more help because some of the people that were doing it before aren't there anymore. So it's an interesting time. And I think, you and I both, we've been doing this for long enough, and we know enough people that we're in good positions to be able to help as that conduit of referring our, past clients or database to those individuals to be able to help assist. And I think that's going to be crucial as we do move forward over the next 12 to 24 months into the future of who you're partnering with. It makes a difference. And you see the hashtags, who you work with matters. I think right now is probably never truer.
Right. So let's dive into a little bit about that, because here's what's going to end up happening, right? So there are going to be some refinance opportunities in the coming months, right? Knock on wood. Hopefully there's going to be plenty of them. But we never want to forget the purchase business, right?
Yeah.
And I think what happened maybe the last time around is that we were all so busy with refinances. Maybe some people, lost their train of thought on the purchase market. But tell me a little bit about the role of what you do with Atlas Title and how you can direct some of that business or help direct some of that business towards you on the purchase side of the ledger.
Sure. It's a great question. I'm going to go back to the late 90s when I got into the business. And it's not just me, but if you look at the last 2 or 3 cycles that we've been through, there's a lot of the patterns, right? Patterns in the past kind of predict what's going to happen in the future. And you saw the refi explode, and then you saw this lack of focus on agent purchase business. And then they take that massive increase, and then, oh, what happens? Rates are high. We're all my agents that I was working with before. Well, somebody else went and picked them up. So you even with the ebbs and flows, there's got to be a certain amount of your efforts focused on the refi, a certain amount just in bookkeeping, or not bookkeeping management. The words escaping me right now, but database management. It's like just being there, being on top of your clients, throw it in your CRM and go, like let it rip. So right now, over the last probably year and a half, primarily for purchase. And I'll give you a perfect example. This was in probably January, February of 21. I had a broker client call in Southern California and says, hey, listen, I'm on my 6th or 7th offer. We don't really know what to do right now. I'm frustrated. My agent's frustrated. The client's frustrated. We just can't get a deal. And he's like, you have any suggestions? And I said, yeah. I said, why don't you write into that purchase contract that your buyer is going to pay the title and escrow settlement charges on this transaction to be able to win this deal? And he's like, I don't know. Should I do that? Does the buyer want to pay? And I said, well, in most transactions, you're going to be splitting some of those fees with the client anyways, right? Yeah, they are. So if your client pays all, we're anywhere from 25 to 35% more competitive from a title insurance premium and an escrow cost. So if you take a look at that, and if you take everything out of the equation, yeah, maybe you're paying a little bit more than you would have if you'd have split it, but now your client at least gives them an extra opportunity to win it, to win the transaction. Right. So when that conversation was over, an hour and a half, 2 hours went by, he calls me back and he's like, you're not going to believe this. We got it. I was like, what?
Nice.
That was something new. And he goes, we got it. I got to tell my broker about this. And that one moment kind of helped us morph and evolve into what is now known as the Atlas Advantage, of helping our lender clients stay intimately involved in those transactions with their buyer's agents and helping those buyers get into the property itself. At least get them at bat and help them with winning some of those deals.
Yeah, so we talk. I mean, obviously, you know about the FirstFunding Flex Close product. You're familiar with it.
Absolutely.
That's also an advantage that we talk about quite a bit, right? And the pushback that we get, and it's a significant cost savings for the lenders, right?
Yeah.
And I know that you've actively gone out and sold it. Take me through a little bit of but on a purchase, I don't control the title piece. That's the realtor, the agent does that. I don't have any say in who they pick. How do you combat that? Like, what is the step-by-step on what to do when we get that feedback?
Sure. And in most normal markets, especially on the West Coast and California specifically, that listing agent is the directing agent. They can direct with one of their partners that they've known at any title company for quite some time. And it makes sense because they've had the relationship, but there's been a lot of trust that's been built. They partner on stuff back and forth. And that's, having that type of loyalty to your partners is a huge thing in this business. However, we're at the point now where there's not enough properties out there for people that want them. And what can you do to differentiate yourselves in the market to help your client and also to continue to do more business? So in the same example that we just talked about, the listing agent sees the offer and says, I like this because I can save my client thousands of dollars, but I don't know who Atlas is. And usually those situations, they'll get on the phone with myself or our escrow team. Hey, we've heard a little bit about you guys. I always use XYZ title company, but I do want to save my clients some money. Who are you and what do you do? And during that conversation, almost every single time towards the end, they'll ask, okay, we'll do it because I want to save my clients some money. but I need some help from you, Josh. I said, what's that? And I said, I need some, can you help me prospecting? I need leads. I need to be able to find out ways to be able to get this business and make it happen. And happy to offer our assistance to anyone who asks for it.
Right.
But I was referred to that particular agent because of my lender. So I always wrap my lender back into this saying, no problem. You know, when I hear that there's this reciprocation process of business kind of going back and forth, I'd be happy to help you and your entire team kind of get you whatever you want. Because up to this point, that lender, that broker, that credit union lender, they're the reason why I'm talking to that person in the first place. So, you know,
business is earned every day, right?
Yes.
I mean, you can't just rest on your laurels and expect the business to come your way. And never should anyone ever take a referral source for granted and just assume that, oh, because I've known this person for so many years, they're always going to send me a book of business. The value that you're talking about is key. And each one of us in this industry needs to figure out what is the value that I'm going to deliver to my client base and to my prospect list on a regular basis, and reevaluate it. I mean, I talk about this all the time. The value that I delivered a year ago is not the same value that I need to be delivering today. Market has changed. The landscape has changed. Everything's changed. So you got to continue honing in your skill set to be able to provide the best value to your clients.
Yeah. Let's talk about value for a second. It's a great point. In these scenarios, when it comes to a value add, many of the conversations that I've made privy to are anyone who lends money going to an agent, to a real estate professional in general, and says, hey, look, what can I do to earn your business? Which is, it's a valid question.
Right.
But I'd rather shift that around and utilize some of the tools that I know we can help you with, saying rather than what can I do to earn it, here's what I can do to help you grow it. This is the value that I bring to the table right now. And maybe your existing partnerships with your current lender or other vendors, maybe they're not. But I'm here to be able to help, and I'm going to show you how I can do it right now. And we have some tools and very specific scripts that I think are instrumental in the market right now that'll be able to help establish better rapport with those agents, at least get you at bat versus I'm good. I've done this client or my lender for quite some time. I'm going to continue to stay with it. You have to think and act differently and ask different questions. Don't make them assume anything. You got to tell them, right? This is what we do. This is why we want to be able to help you. So
what do you shifting gears a little bit, obviously when the president gets up in January and calls title a junk fee, right? What are some of the headwinds that you're dealing with right now?
Yeah, I spend enough time watching some of this stuff, but I usually don't. But I happened to be watching the State of the Union that night, and I was downstairs. My wife was upstairs, and when he said that, she called me. She's like, "Did you just hear what he said?" And I'm like, "Oh, if you're paying attention to this, everybody's paying attention to this." So, anyways, Matt, it's been an interesting, last 4 or 5 months, and really, what's looked at right now throughout the nation in junk fees, I think is a good thing. I do think that consumers in general are paying a lot in excess fees that they don't really need to be paying for, right? When it comes to title settlement across the board, your title insurance policy is one of the cheapest policies for insurance that you're ever going to pay on any product for your entire life, because you pay it one time upfront to protect yourself. So now I have a bias. I work for a title company. Do I think it's a junk fee? Absolutely not. Do I think that the cost for insurance has gone up in certain counties, in certain states, nationally with certain vendors? Absolutely, right? Which our take on this when we first opened the company was we want to give you a very competitively priced product with service that's going to be second to none, that's very different than what you're used to because of integration purposes, because of streamlining the processes, becoming more efficient, and getting these transactions pushed through faster to be able to add more in to close more of those as well, right? So that's kind of the unique identifier in how we're different than some of our competitors. But the bigger piece of this is title insurance itself is not a junk fee. Title insurance could be overpriced in certain situations, but most borrowers, most buyers, you want to have that protection to ensure that when you buy this house, It's free and clear, no judgments, no liens, and you can rest peacefully knowing that that's yours and that nobody else can take it from you, right? And if something happens,
it's a re-education of what it actually does. I think it just became, oh, I need to have title insurance, and that just became a term that everyone, but they don't. The average home buyer probably doesn't even know what title insurance does for them.
Yeah.
And so it's just a re-education.
And there's other products that are being offered with various entities out there as well. And more power to anyone for talking about these certain things. But when it comes down to it, the title insurance product is there. The lender's policy is there on purpose for a reason. No one wants to be stuck with that loan. No one wants to be stuck with, oops, we missed this and this and this. I don't have a policy. I can't file my claim with the title company. Now what am I going to do? Are they going to go after the lender? Maybe. Are they going to go after the agent? Potentially. Why even put yourself in those positions, in my opinion?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we already hit the ground running in the second half of 2024. I think it's been an insanely robust year compared to what some people were predicting back in January. What's up for Atlas Title and for you personally in the second half of the 24?
Yeah. Well, we've already hit the ground running. I just spent about 3 weeks out west for fun, but also with a lot of clients, kind of getting their take on what the rest of this year looks like. And when you look at the West Coast, kind of the central US and the East Coast, there's two primary things on top of everybody's mind. When are rates going to drop? And how can I find homes to sell to get more people into, right? Those are the two biggest questions that are kind of always coming up. And, our team is like, small but mighty. We are licensed in 36 states now. And what we've seen is we have this segment of clients from a broker aspect that are continually staying busy, no matter what happens in this with the market. Rates are high, you're still going to find ways to do business. Rates are low, you're going to be busier. So there's that kind of vertical. We have the INB and banker verticals that are looking at, do I do more with home equity products and fixed rate HE loans? Do I focus on the refis? Do we have competitive products to be able to offer out on purchases? So we were able to kind of navigate through some of that. And then we have our credit union clients that are awesome in the market right now because they're still pushing out thousands of home equity products a month, right? Home equity lines of credit, fixed home equity loans. So everyone's doing a little bit differently, and we are nimble enough as an underwriter, as a national underwriter now, we're nimble enough to be able to say, look, we can help you, we can help you, we can help you. We can help you in different ways, all get to that same final destination of getting the deal in, getting it closed, making you look good, and making your client specifically want to come back to our client, which is the lender or the agent, every single time, right? Top of mind, top of mind, top of mind. So we are growing into 4 or 5 more states by the end of this year as well, which is always exciting. I gotta tell you, Matt, you and your team, it's been an honor kind of to work with you guys and Nate and Nick and Trenton and Jessica and the rest of the crew, and you now, being on board now for what, how many months?
6 months.
6 months. So, and you've seen a lot take place in the last 6 months from your seat as well. Yeah. There's something to be said though about like minds, right? Thinking the same direction, looking forward into the future of what's going to be happening, and leveraging each other in this process. And the product, what you guys have out there, how you can help clients on nights, on weekends, not having to worry about the wire is a huge deal, especially right now, especially with wire fraud. So I quick little plug for you. Not that you need it, they're asking for it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
We appreciate it.
We sell, thank you. We appreciate you guys as well. We sell flex clothes till we're blue in the face, right? And we believe in it. And we definitely want to make sure that it just breaks my heart, like when I see that transactions don't close with flex close protection, right? I mean, it's just instantaneous transfer of funds without the risk of wire fraud, essentially, right? I mean, those are two things that should make every lender happy these days. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Josh, always great to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to spend with us. And everyone, listen to the next podcast, Non-Delegated Influencer Podcast, coming out to you in 2 weeks. But again, thank you, Josh. Really do appreciate your time.
Not a problem, Matt. We appreciate you as well. If anybody has any questions for me specifically, I'm sure it'll be on the notes down there somewhere. But happy to help and looking forward to the next one.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Matt.